Hey, it's InkdMage, and today I'm going to take you through a close-up look at some upcoming Warlock tile sets by WizKids. These are the Cavern set, the Stalagmite and Stalactite set, and the Dripstone Bridges. And I'll show you some potential builds, I'll talk about their versatility, and show you what I did. Come and take a look. The pieces don't lock together, they don't clip together. You just place them to make your arrangement however you like. And there's a variety of shapes. You could just drop down to make whatever kind of build it is that suits you. So for example, here we're just making a dungeon. Okay, let's just say we're making this small dungeon, and then you can just drop either again on top or to the side of the floor pieces to create your walls. But you can see you could really rather quickly make a setup that works. I'm kind of half looking at what I'm doing and mostly trying to look inside the camera, you know, to make sure that I have this right, that I can see. And then you can start adding in some of the wall pieces as stalagmites, all right, to create a cavern. You could also start layering other tiles on to increase your Z-axis play. Like it, you could get that height going. All right, let's add. Now you're getting into more and more elevation, which is really rather cool. So you can see how I just quickly built out maybe a dwarf cave. Now I happen to have just some gray felt down on my table, but WizKids is going to be putting out a cavern mat and a lava cavern mat that you could put underneath it, which would look really good with this negative space in between. I don't mind those crevices. I've been in caves, and caves aren't perfect. They don't have perfect floors. They don't have perfect walking space. It can be treacherous. So here is just a quick little build showing you how you can very quickly lay down and create something for your gameplay. Here is another configuration I did. And this really doesn't even use all of the cavern set, but you can see that I've created a cavern with a lot of elevation. There's lots of levels, go right from the table, and you can just stack these. This is stacked, what, 3 or 4 high. The dwarf is crossing a little natural bridge by stacking. So you can see how versatile it is when you are making your setups. One easy thing you can do using the WizKids Warlock Tiles Caverns set is make a passage. Now you can see what I've done here is I've set some on the outside. You can set them on the outside, or you can set them on top, or again, you can put them on the outside and just eat up more. This preserves the amount of walls you have if you put them on top, but you can preserve playable space by putting them on the outside. And look, this is a very cool little passageway. Using those same pieces, I just made a curved passageway. So you can see there is versatility in how you can arrange them and set them up. The low profile of the walls allows you to see the minis that you place in for combat, movement, exploration. If you're looking just for size to see how big of a cavern you can make with these pieces, this is it. That is pretty big. As you can see, that dwarf mini takes up a 1-inch square, so that is a pretty big space. And again, to create that bigger space, I put the walls on the outside, but you could put them on top if you like. You could wait for the WizKids Cavern mat or lava cavern mat to put underneath, or you could just lay down your own mat, fabric, or just drop them on your table. I'm sure your players would forgive you. But there is the size, and that doesn't include the other accessories. And let me just show you. The accessories are these bridge pieces. And these bridge pieces are all segmented, so they clip together. So you could make one long bridge, a bunch of short bridges, whatever strikes your fancy. And again, you can see how WizKids use some of the wall pieces to just be stalagmites. Dan, what's the difference between a stalagmite and a stalactite? Well, stalagmites thrust mightily upward, and stalactites cling tightly to the ceiling. One of my gamers told me that trick. These are pieces from the Stalactites and Stalagmites expansion set for the Warlock Tiles Caverns set. What's cool about these is that you can clip them together to make a column. And then you just drop the ceiling tile on them. And then just place it inside your cavern. And there you have a column. The same goes for these stalagmites, the doubles or the triples. They can stack on top of one another to make pillars. Or you could use these little end caps just to top them off and make them stand complete. But I mean, they also look great just like this. So now we've populated our cavern with some columns. We're assuming that this is the roof. But if you put them closer to the edge, for example, why couldn't they go up to the roof, but then the caverns sweep out up top a little bit to make a perch? Great place for ambush. Maybe there is a tunnel leading off this way. You can take and combine the triple piece with the double piece and then grab one of your extras, right? Find the appropriate size topper that fits to make two columns with a hanging stalactite to drop down. And I think that looks pretty cool too. And just set that in to your cavern. And now you've got an assortment. And likewise, you can do two columns with one stalagmite and place that in. Just adds some nice visual variety, and it makes the cavern feel a little more real. But there are other great pieces to add to this. There are the totem pole stalagmites and the dome stalagmites. So let's see how they look just dropped in. They don't have to be placed next to one another. They could be spread around. They don't have to be placed next to one another. They can be spread around but now it's really fleshing out the cavern. And there are other pieces as well, including these natural archways, which I think, I mean, you could drop down right in the center, but what I would do would be to place them as the archway leading into a dungeon. I do want to point out that I did forget that this piece comes with the Cavern set, not the Stalagmites and Stalactites. And this piece is called the Sleeping Roper. Is this the best piece there is in this? I love it. I don't know about you, but ropers may be my favorite monster. I just love using them, and this is absolutely perfect for a sleeping roper. Look at that. This dwarf would not suspect a thing until it was too late. Then we have the Dripstone Bridges. These are really cool pieces. I've kind of combined the bridge pieces with my cavern stuff, so I just have some bridges here. But let me show you the pieces. These are great standalone pieces, either archways that are perfect for entryways if you don't want a curved archway, or within a cavern. Now again, imagine that these are closer to the wall and these are rising up. This is the top of the ceiling under here, but where the wall comes up, maybe there's another little level, a second level, which would explain why you could get in some play up here, which is great because adding elevation to your game is incredible. And then these little pieces, I can't wait to put these down in a water cavern, just thrusting up from the water. Imagine, if you will, that this is water. Look how cool they look rising up. And you've got some bigger pieces as well. Imagine it making kind of a stairway, if you will, across the water. And the players have to make their way, leap perhaps. Now, you can also connect these with bridges. So you can see here, there are slots, and the bridges have these slotted pieces that slide in. I'll try and do this with one hand to show you. There you go. Now that slots in, and that piece slots in over there. And now you have a precarious bridge to cross. But of course, you could just use a regular bridge, or you could add this in over here and then just leave off this one side and set it over here. Let's see what that would look like. Okay, now you can see. Let's go across. The figures are walking across, and then you could just keep adding bridges, right? You could just add another bridge if you wanted, you know, without it being slotted. Now, you've got a very precarious way for the players to get across. The figures do set on top. They do play nice on top. And again, you can put them on top of your pillars, right? Maybe a wizard misty steps up top to save themselves. That would be pretty cool. But again, you could also just use these dripstone bridge pieces, right? Just to populate your cavern. So these are natural columns. Look, you can fill in spaces if you don't like your spaces. And again, you can add your bridges. And don't forget, once again, with these extra pieces, you can make your stalactites taller, thicker. Lots of options here, lots and lots of options. So here's a little encounter, right? This is just one of the cavern floor pieces with the cavern walls, the natural arch from the Stalagmite and Stalactite set, and the Dripstone Bridges pieces. This makes a very exciting encounter. You don't have to have a tentacled watcher in the water, but it doesn't hurt. I hope you like that look. And my overall thoughts are, these are really great. And why I like them is because they offer versatility. They offer variety in their appearance. I have seen some people make comments, well, they don't like the color, but I've been in caves, and caves have a variety of colors. So I like that visual variety. I also like the versatility that I could also use them, as part of a setup on, say, an other world or a desert. Lots of ideas, lots of things that you can use these pieces for. The limit is your imagination. They're durable, they're easily laid down, easily stowed, and I think they'll play nice with your other terrain, or if this is your starting terrain, I think you won't be disappointed. So go ahead and you can pre-order from the WizKids website, which I'll put in the comments, and you can also pre-order at your favorite flagship store, or just wait until they come out and then pick them up yourself.